Hi everybody and welcome back to another video of our fighting game course. So I've asked you in the previous video to add different moves or combos that your character needs, and I did that for my game. Now in the previous video we've added like this sprinting feature, and I also added the opposite of it, which is like stepping backward. This is pretty simple. I also added this combo, not really a combo, it's just a single move. So when we press the P2 and K2 buttons at the same time, we do like this kind of move, which is gonna be used to like throw back the enemy in the other direction. So here is how it looks. Each character has its different way to do it. So here is like for KO right here. So you can see like the idea of what this move is gonna do. So basically it's just gonna throw the enemy in the other direction, and we press P1 and K1 at the same time. We're just gonna throw them in the same direction. So we're gonna like send them forward. Now I'm gonna go quickly over how I did this in my project here. Before actually I show you that, I wanna address some quick change or a small change that I did. So in the animation and script, this used to be greater than or equals, right? But sometimes this is gonna like skip the last frame and it won't show it at all. So I changed this to greater than. Okay, so if you're having like this problem when you can't see the last frame of your animation, then make sure to change this to greater than. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna quickly go over how I added these new features or moves. So of course you're gonna have to have sprites for them, and obviously you'll need to update your sprites here. So I've added like these two throws sprites and a stepping back sprite. And in the character control, well, first of all, in the macros you want to add a state for each new move that you want to do. So I have, in my case, I've added two moves, the first one being step back, and the second one is the throw move. Now in the character control script, well, this is pretty simple. Now I only want to step back when I'm on the ground and I double tap the backward key. Now it's basically the same thing as sprinting, except that you're gonna go in a different direction. Okay, now for the throw we have different condition. So we should be on the ground and we want to press the P1 and K1 keys at the same time. Okay, and this is to throw the enemy forward. Okay, now I've added two variables for like for this specific state. So here is in the create event. Let me just the player create event. So we've added this variable called, where is it, throw direction, which is basically is gonna be either throw forward or backward, just to know like which direction I'm gonna throw my enemy. Okay, so yeah, in case I press P1 and K1, I want the throw direction to be throw forward. If I press P2 and K2, I want to throw it backward. So this is pretty simple. We change the state and break from our current case, and obviously we add another case for each new state. So in the step back state, I just wanna move in the different, or sorry, in the opposite direction. So this should be minus sprint speed times sine of our image scale, and our condition to get back to the free state is if our animation has ended. Now in the throw state, we don't need to do anything here except for the condition to get back to the free state, which is gonna be just animation end. And last thing is you'll need to update your animation control, which is pretty simple. You just set the sprite for your animation, and actually this should be if landed, even though you can only use this move if you're on the ground, but just to make sure. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Pretty simple stuff. Now in this video we're gonna be adding I was thinking about adding like damaging system, But before we do any of that, I want to add health bars and like the user interface in during the game. So things are gonna be like much easier when we add like hits and damage, and yeah. So we're gonna quickly start by adding a sprite for our health bar. So I'm just gonna go ahead and draw a simple sprite for the health bar. So I'm just gonna name it health bar. Now I'm just gonna go and make, let me think about it. Um, we can do something like 32, or no, maybe 128 by, by 32, and maybe we're gonna increase the scale of it, so, or maybe 64, just to give it a little bit of style. Now make sure that this is gonna be top lefted, okay? Oops, top left. Now let's go ahead and edit our image. Okay, so just to get alright, so I'm gonna make it pretty simple. Alright, so I'm gonna first of all, you want to draw your border. So I'm gonna pick the, where is the rectangle tool? It should be this one. Okay, I'm gonna give it some thickness. Now I think maybe 3 is fine. Let's see what this smooth thin does. Okay, so I'm gonna, oops, I don't want to fill, I just want to stroke. I'm gonna change the color to black as well. Okay, I think we should increase the thickness a little bit, so maybe this will do. Yeah, that's better. So I'm gonna quickly draw health, or like a rectangle, and if you want to add like some style to it, then I'm gonna do something like this. Alright, and I'm gonna erase this part right here. Okay, okay, it doesn't have to look perfect, but actually let me just remove everything here so it looks cleaner. Okay, now what you need to do is, let's draw the same thing, except that we want to pick white color. Okay, so let's pick white color, and let's draw the same thing here, just to like give it a little bit of style, maybe like this. I don't know, you can do any style you want, but for now I think this should be fine. Now let me fill this right here. Okay, alright, so now I want you to grab a different let's go with gray. So this is gonna look better when we use a different blend for the image. So let's give it like some strips here, kind of like this. So this is gonna like change depending on the image blend that we're gonna use. I know that it doesn't look good, but the only way I'm adding like these gray strips is for the image blend. So when we use them, it's gonna look good with any color that we want to use. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Now I want to reduce the size of it, so I'm just gonna like, you know, select the rectangle and crop all frames to selection. Now here's what you need to do. You're gonna duplicate this frame and you're gonna erase this black border, so just get rid of it. Okay, next thing you want to do is, okay, so let's just save this sprite. Okay, and we want to change the origin to the point where these two meets, so kind of like here. Okay, that's good enough. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I think we should increase or move this a little bit to the top. Yeah, that's much better. kind of. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. It looks good enough for now. Alright, okay, so just save it. Now I'm gonna add the script here. So let's actually add the group and call it user interface. Create script here, and we're gonna say, oops, I just hit my mic. Render health bar. So just render HP, health points, whatever. Now let's go to our controller. Let's add a draw GUI event. Okay, so where's the draw? Right, draw GUI event. Now in here, we just want to call the script, which is draw or render HP. Okay. So this script will need, obviously, to get access to the health of our player. So we need to add this variable. So HP equals like 200 or 100 depending on the game. So if you want to like a game to be like a little, or if you want the rounds to be a little bit longer, then your player should have like a relatively high HP. But I'm gonna go with 200 for now. We may change this later, doesn't really matter for now. But yeah, so here's how to draw it. So we need to draw the player 1 health bar. Okay, now if we remember, we already have access to the player with this variable. We have access to the player 1 with P1 variable and P2 variable to access the second player. Alright, so we're gonna first of all draw the border, which is this image right here. Okay, so in order to do that, this is pretty simple. I'm gonna draw Sprite. Actually, let's go with the extended version. So draw Sprite ext. Okay, now the sprite that we want to draw is SPR health bar. The sub image is 0. Now for the X, I want actually, let's create another variable. Let's call it like margin or X margin or offset, whatever you want. Let's go with 10, and so this is for the player 1, so it should be like X margin. So this is like just an offset for the health bar, so we don't want to draw it like in the edge. So for the Y position, let's go with like 20. I think 20 should be fine. X scale, let's go with let's give it scale of 2 for both the X scale and Y scale. Rotation 0. Color here should be white, so see white. Let's go with white. Alpha 1. Alright, now what we need to do is we need to duplicate this code. Okay, except that this time we want to draw the sub image, the second sub image, which, so this should be 1, right? Not only that, but we need to change this image blend to like the color of your health bar that you want to use. So I'm gonna go with like green. Okay, so I'm gonna run the game and give you an idea of how it looks now. Alright, so let's choose characters, and okay, so here's how it looks. Well, what we're doing here, we're drawing like the first sub image here, and then we're drawing the next one, which is like this sub image on top of it, so it looks like green. So this is like the how it looks, and you can see like these strips that I don't know if you can see them, but it's not like completely green. We do have like some lines here that changes perfectly depending on the color that you choose. Okay, but I think that we need to increase the margin a little bit because I think it's really close to the edge and I don't want that. So I'm gonna increase the margin to like something like 40. Maybe 40 should be fine. But here's the thing. Let's say that our maximum HP is let's actually add a macro here, and let's call it, so we have macro max HP, and let's go with 200, right? So max HP is 200. Now I don't want to draw the second sub image completely. Maybe I want to draw just a part of it depending on the player's health. Okay, so here's how to do that. Instead of using draw sprite ext, there is another function which is draw sprite part, I believe, ext. Now this function has extra variables, so we just want to change the width, which should be like so starting from here after the sub image, we need to set the left, top, width, and height. Now obviously the left and top are 0, and we just need to change the width, and the height is gonna stay the same. Okay, so we're gonna create 2 more variables. So height, now height should be like sprite height, I think. There is a function for that, sprite height. SPR, or is it sprite get height? I don't know. Yeah, sprite get height, SPR health bar. Okay, now for the width, this is gonna be a little bit different. So we need a max width, or let's call it SPR width. Okay, now this should be sprite get width, SPR health bar, but we're not gonna use it here. So this should be SP height. We don't wanna choose the maximum width here. What we need to do is, well, SPR width, but we need to multiply this by so this is like the player 1 health bar, right? So we need to multiply it by p1.hp. Is it HP? What did I name it? Yeah, HP divided by the maximum HP, which is the macro that we've added, max HP. Okay, what else do we need? I think that's it. So why am I getting this error? Let me see. Number of arguments expected 12 got 13. Oh really? Hold on. So left, top, width, height, x, y. Oh wait. Oh yeah, my bad. Wait, hold on. Okay, so this function doesn't have a rotation, so we're gonna have to like so this is now the image x scale, or sorry, the y scale. So this should be 2 for the image x scale. This is 20 for the height, and this should be margin, so x margin. So sorry about that. All right, now we need to duplicate this for the P2 health bar. But first of all, I want to change this to, or actually add something here. So for y margin equals 20, because we may change the height. Okay, so I'm just gonna replace 20 here by y margin. Now we're gonna do the same thing for the enemy, right? But we need to change some stuff here. So for the x margin, we don't want this to be x margin. Instead, we want it to be well, we need another variable called so this is like the width of our screen, not the room. So I'm gonna go view horizontal port, I think 0. It's gonna be like the width equals view h port. I'm not sure about this, but let's go ahead and test it out. So this should be width minus x margin, and we need to invert the exascale. Same thing here, and now this should be p2.hp. okay, p2, and this should be width minus margin. Now we know how it looks now, right? But the point is that we want it to change depending on the player's health. So the maximum HP is 200, right? I'm gonna change my starting HP to actually, let's do it in the controller. Okay, so now I'm gonna say p2.hp equals 100, and p1.hp p1.hp, let's go with 50. So this should be like a quarter of the sprite, right? Gonna save the code, run it, and let's see how it looks. Alright, so let's run the game. Okay, choose our characters. Okay, hopefully won't get any errors. Okay, so it is working, but yeah, there's one mistake here, which is so this one right here. Well, first of all, there are two mistakes: the width and the height. So actually, let me, so the problem here is because of this. Maybe we do need to change this to top left. I wonder if that's gonna work. Yeah, let's test it out. And we obviously need to change this to, is it W port? Oh yeah, of course it is. Yeah, that was my bad. Yeah, of course. So this is like the width. I don't know why I typed H. Okay, so let's see how that looks. If it doesn't, then we may have to create a separate sprite for the health bar. I don't know, or like the second image or frame, sub image. Okay. Alright, let's see how it looks. Big sim character. Okay, so that's better. And yeah, so as you can see, this is changing depending on our HP. So I think that's pretty good. Now you can have like different style for your HP, but this is gonna be fine for now, I think. So yeah, so that was all for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Now in the next one, we're gonna be able to add the damage system. So we're obviously gonna need some sprites for like you know, receiving damage or getting hurt. Like this is for like getting knocked out. This is for receiving a hit. We're also gonna need some sprites for blocking the hits. Okay, and yeah, so those are for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.